can turn the world on with a smile. You can take a nothing day and suddenly make it all seem worthwhile. Well, it's your girl and you should know it. Each class and every little movement you show it. Love is all around, don't need to fake it. You can never down, why don't you take it? You're gonna make it after all.
Hi everybody, Jodie Emery here with my weekly update, and today is Thursday, February 3rd, 2011, and hopefully spring is on the way because the groundhog said that it's on coming, so no more winter. I bet people out east are happy to hear that. My latest news on Marc is kind of exciting because a lot of positive things have been happening. He decided to read some of his old letters and old notes and realized that most of the problems that have been going on with the prison have since been resolved, and you know, that's a good sign, and maybe it means that he's helping improve the prison, or maybe they're just catching up to what they're supposed to do. But it's really good to know that mail is getting through to Marc, that they've brought in some exercise bikes. They're now allowing Canadians to send Western Union, so now we don't have to find Americans with credit cards to send money to our family members. So there's a few different things happening that are pretty good, and you can read more about those on Marc's latest newsletter. Marc was doing blogs for a while, and we were numbering them, and it was up to about 25. But now he has started doing weekly newsletters. So he types this up in the prison on the old-fashioned typewriters because they don't have computers for that yet. But he sends these out to people along with a personal note, just to fill people in on what's going on. So we use that newsletter now as Marc's blog, and I have just posted number 2. So if you go to cannabisculture.com, you can read his latest update. It includes notes about books that he's doing. He did some editing work. You know, he used to be editor of Cannabis Culture, so he's helping people with some of their self-published books. He's learning Spanish, and there's a lot of other interesting things in his newsletter, including a write-up by one of his fellow inmates named Guy, a British gentleman. He's had quite a problem getting a pair of shoes, and it's a bit of a funny but kind of sad story. I encourage you to read it at cannabisculture.com and freemark.ca. We are having a bit of a sale special for viewers of the Pot TV Jodie Emery show, and if you go to cannabisculture.com/store and use the code Jodie Emery Show, all one word, you can get 15% off everything in store. So some examples include the free Marc Emery shirts, of course. And these have been popular for a number of years, worn by our friend Tommy Chong and many others who have been spreading the word about Marc and the insanity of the drug war. So if you go to cannabisculture.com/store and use Jodie Emery Show as the code, you'll get 15% off. And that happens until February 14th, Valentine's Day. So get a little goodie for your loved ones. Another sale I want to let you know about, or not quite a sale, but a deal that people should take advantage of, are Cannabis Culture magazines. Now, we haven't been publishing since April 2009, which was a good time to shut down because it was costing too much money and we couldn't keep up, and Marc knew that he would be going to prison. So we've only been online since, but we've still been a very powerful voice in the cannabis media. And mainstream media too. We actually do a lot of that with our excellent editor, Jeremiah Vandermeer. But Cannabis Culture magazine in print has been selling out really fast. So I got a list of inventory of all the issues that we have, and you can see almost half of them are sold out, especially the ones that Marc and I worked on in the later years, and a lot of the ones around the time of the Summer of Legalization tour. But they're sold out, and some of them I don't even have copies of. I must have them somewhere at home, I hope, but they certainly fly off the shelves. So if you haven't got back issues of Cannabis Culture, you can get them for only $2 each at the online store. So if you throw those into your order with the promo code, you'll get them even cheaper. Another great piece of news about Marc is that former New Mexico Governor Gary Johnson has decided to write a letter to the U.S. Department of Justice asking for Marc to be sent home. Now, Gary Johnson is an amazing ally of the cannabis movement. He understands prohibition and he also uses medical marijuana, or at least he used it for an accident he had. But he's a great voice of support, and he used to be the governor of New Mexico, so that's quite a prestigious position to be in, and he has agreed to help out with Marc. And I really need a lot of you to kind of do the same thing with your representative. Go to freemark.ca, and there's a link under how you can help where you can find your rep. And it would be really great if you could contact them, let them know about Marc in a brief letter, and ask them to send their support to the Department of Justice to have Marc sent home. If not for the sake of, his right to be free because it's an unjust imprisonment, but then for the reason that America can't afford to imprison foreigners for seeds for 5 years in the U.S. I mean, everybody knows that the U.S. is broke, and I encourage you to take a look at the current cover of The Economist magazine. They've done a pretty hilarious but sad map with every state name changed into some sort of, Iowa's, IOU, that sort of thing. It's pretty funny. So find a copy of The Economist. Marc reads it in prison, and, it definitely talks about how the U.S. can't afford so many things, and the war on drugs is the first thing they should cut. They do say that, but I'm also just adding that on. This is Thursday today, and this weekend is the CannaMedFair that I've been telling you all about. So I'm excited to be there with a lot of our crew. Greg from Pot TV is going to be filming to share that. We'll see a lot of friends and familiar faces, and Cannabis Culture will be there with a booth. And we're also hosting on Saturday night a little freebie get-together for people who have attended the CannaMedFair. So if you come to the BC Marijuana Party headquarters on the 3rd floor at 307 West Hastings Street, if you come by on Saturday night with your ticket from the CannaMedFair, we'll let you come in for free, so it's not the $5 fee, and we'll have some goodies there for you guys so we can all get together again and enjoy the time that we do have, because our community needs to be united, and being able to see the people that we're fighting alongside for same goal in the end, I think that's important. So I'm excited to have people come on down to the BC Marijuana Party headquarters. I encourage you to go to CannaMedFair.ca. I think you can still get tickets right at the door. There's still definitely an ability to get in. Some of the things like the dinner are all sold out, so unfortunately that's not there happening. But yeah, definitely come down to our store on Saturday night. And even if you're just a regular customer, I encourage you to come check it out too. So that's pretty much everything I have to update you guys with, and I encourage you again, of course, to write letters to Marc. His birthday is coming up on February 13th, and he would really like to get some mail. Some cards are not allowed, like ones that play music or with little, things on them. So just keep it simple, but definitely send photos and letters and whatever you can to help lift his spirits. The address is at freemark.ca and cannabisculture.com. Definitely go to our websites on a regular basis, and I'll be back next week with another update. No more drug war.